Here's to hugging corners, not cutting them. To grinding away, not grinding to a halt. Here's to those who stay true to the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. From Tallboy Storage to the latest line of extreme grip hand tools, Craftsman is there when it matters.
The most elaborate April Fool's Day prank in the world leads to this. 2 years since the initial announcement, and the World of Outlaws World Championships on iRacing start right now. Randy Chinitz, Cam Walsh will be joining us in a little bit as we bring you the opening round of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship Series live from Eldora. 35 of the best iRacing sprint car drivers on the planet are going to be taken to the virtual Eldora Motor Speedway here tonight. But first, we have a bit of a pre-race show coming at you. I am joined by Mr. Ross Weiss of the Open Red podcast. And Ross, you guys at the greatest show on dirt. I know it's been a bit of a labor of love getting this as well. You guys being the first major series to come into iRacing on the dirt side, beat out all the other competitors that do the variety of dirt stuff in the United States. How important is this to you to have the first World Championship as well?
This is huge for the World of Outlaws to be a part of. You hear a lot of folks in racing all over say, you know, trying to get new and fresh audiences involved, interested in dirt track racing, and instead of trying to make them come to us, iRacing is a great way for us to come to them and showcase our product. We've seen all across the Outlaw social media, all kinds of folks, as soon as iRacing Dirt got launched, saying that they came and checked us out on YouTube or came out to see a race in person after getting to try it on iRacing. So the crossover appeal has been great since this whole thing got started.
There's a great little bit of giveaway happening today. World of Outlaws have been gracious enough. We're going to have 2 tickets we're going to be giving away to any World of Outlaw event of your choosing. Info on that will be coming a little bit later. But Ross, I know for you, and it's always nice for me to see as well, we see so many of these series come in, and while they're interactive with the community in some ways, they are a little bit distanced, some of the representatives from some of the other series that we have and that we represent. But you yourself, of course, representing World of Outlaws a bit tonight. You're an avid sim racer. You've been in a couple of our Dirt Night broadcasts we've done over the years, and you're a very, very good and very qualified sprint car driver on the sim in your own right. How is that kind of working in within the realms of the World of Outlaws business? Because I know a lot of guys who run real world racing stuff, they tend not to know much about sim racing, tends to be an older group. How's it sort of bridging that gap and trying to help them understand, considering you're someone who sort of has seen both sides, both in the virtual racing world and the real racing world?
It's been outstanding getting to kind of be a guy in the World of Outlaws office that can kind of speak both languages, if you will. I got to be good friends with Steve and Otto and a lot of the iRacing guys early on in the dirt process, and was really kind of pushing behind the scenes for this partnership between our two organizations. And not just myself, the gentleman that does the PR for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series, Anthony Carini, also very much involved in iRacing when he gets to be home and not on the road at our events. He's very big into it as well. So a lot of people behind the scenes at our organization that are big fans of this and are big users of it, and are really excited to see it get to the point that it is tonight.
Well, before we let you go, Ross, 35 of the best drivers. I know you've raced with some of these guys. Any picks for your win to win the opening round tonight?
Man, that's a tough one. It's really hard to say. Like this, the qualifier series really got 35 really good guys into this thing. Even if I am still a little bit bitter that I wasn't able to make the top 35 after 5 rough couple weeks for me in the qualifier series. But no, I've got a lot of good buddies out there running tonight. Justin Thomas, Adam Elby. Look forward to seeing what a lot of these. I look forward to seeing what all these guys can do in this first race tonight.
Thank you for joining us, Ross. I know that you will be paying more than a little bit of attention, both yourself and everyone at World of Outlaws. So thank you to you. Thank you to everyone at the World of Outlaws for putting this on. Thanks for giving us the tickets to give away. I know the fans are going to love that, and we hope to put on a good show for you guys tonight.
Thank you, guys. Look forward. I'll be sitting here watching the rest of the evening. Have a good broadcast.
So Mr. Ross Weiss from the World of Outlaws. We're also going to have a short word with Mr. Tyler Hudson from iRacing. Tyler, you copy?
Hey guys, what's going on?
So Tyler, it's a bit of an interesting thing. Ross, represents the World of Outlaws. He's an avid dirt racer on the iRacing service, and then of course yourself, very avid racer in your own right, one of the best in the late models. What's sort of your input on this? I think this has been a labor of love for you getting these Dirt World Championships going. How excited are you to kick them off?
Yeah, we are really excited, man. All of us iRacing are excited about this. Put a lot of work into it. All the guys at World of Outlaws have been just great to work with. I'm really looking forward to this race and see what kind of show they can put on.
Now, yourself, like I said, one of the best late model drivers on the sim, bar none. We saw you win a big race in the Spring Fling just a month or so back. There's always a little bit of a rivalry between the open wheel guys and the non-open wheel drivers. Any bitterness that it's the sprint cars kicking off this thing and not the late models?
No, man, I'm a fan first. I love all the dirt racing, sprint cars, late models, modifieds, street stocks. I mean, I'll run any of it, and these guys are the best of the sprint cars. So we'll see what they can do tonight. I think it's going to be a really good show. A lot of really good names. I mean, we got some NASCAR guys in this race too. So we'll see what happens.
Thanks for joining us, Tyler. Before we let you go, 35 the best. Any picks to win this thing?
Man, I don't know. I just want a good show. That's all I want. Whoever wins is definitely going to deserve it. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you for joining us, Tyler, and we'll be sure to put on a good night of action. Thanks for all the work you do behind the scenes, and just good luck to you as Mr. Competition Director working behind the scenes.
Thanks, guys. Have a good broadcast, and we'll see you later.
So the World of Outlaws is going to be a 12-week-long season. It'd be a heck of a long season if it was 12 seasons long. But first night of racing is going to be here at Eldora for the sprint cars. 2 weeks after, we go to the dirt track at Charlotte. Then we go to Knoxville, Limaland, Williams Grove, and Volusia. And then we basically do it all over again because we only have a limited number of tracks currently. I believe the schedule will be fluid and updated if they add new circuits, but the midpoint of the championship, we go back to Eldora, and then Limaland, Williams Grove, Volusia, Knoxville, and Charlotte. So they sort of do it in reverse order, a little bit deeper down the season. Qualifying is currently underway, but we're going to talk about a couple of other things as well. We mentioned the fact that there is a giveaway this evening for 2 tickets to any World of Outlaw event of your choosing. We will be doing that a little bit later in the show. The way you will enter that is in the YouTube stream chat. You have to be on the YouTube stream. You can enter with !WOO tickets. That's how you can get your way in to win yourself a couple of tickets. We'll be doing the drawing for that between the B main, the last chance qualifier, and the feature race. So that'll be happening during that short little couple-minute intermission. So be sure to not go away and be there for that to get your chance to win a couple tickets to a World of Outlaw event of your choosing. So let's talk a little bit about the format this evening, because it's a little bit different than the typical events you would expect to see here on the iRacing service as far as the format. It doesn't work like a typical official series race that a lot of people who've done racing on the iRacing service might be used to. There will be 4 heat races this evening. Qualifying, of course, happening right now. We will talk about that in just a couple of moments, but there will be 4 heat races at 8 laps each. And then there'll be a 2-minute grid option for those, along with 2 base laps for each heat race. Excuse me. Then there will be a last chance qualifier, which will consist of 19 drivers, only of which 4 spots will transfer you to the feature. So of the 35 drivers that have showed up for competition tonight, only 20 will actually be taking part in the feature race. That means the top 4 in each heat race will qualify, which means that it's going to be a lot of bumping and banging around here at the Eldora Speedway for those transfer spots. Hopefully guys can keep them clean and keep the racing as green as possible once we get deeper into the show. Also an interesting prize format. World of Outlaws has done something really interesting. For most of the world championships we have in the iRacing service, all the funds go directly into the championship prize pool. Things work a little bit different here. There is a race by race purse for every single week. So for tonight, the race winner will win $300, $250 will go to second, $150 for third, $125 for fourth, and $91 goes to your fifth place finisher tonight. So top 5 all will be in the money in the feature event, and then of course championship payouts as well. $3,000 to the season champion, with $1,500 to second and $500 going to third. So a very unique format that I know a lot of people have asked for on the iRacing service through various series, and now we're getting a chance to see how it works. As we have 1 minute left in qualifying, let's just take a look at the times. Alex Bergeron right now is on pace to be the very first pole sitter for an iRacing World Championship Sprint Car event, but he gets picked by Tim Ryan in the number 98 at the last second with a hot lap of 13.336. And with that, qualifying for the first round of the iRacing Sprint Car World Championship is complete. And let's go down your starting grid for heat race number 1 here at Eldora. So, starting on the pole of heat race number 1 will be Tim Ryan with Dylan Selman on the outside of that front row. Robert Kurtsetter and David Heilemann will make up row 2, with Jesse Dawkins and Justin Thomas on row number 3. Chase Cabre and John Batista make up row 4, with Tony DeBell making up that last and final spot on row 5, rounding out the 9-car grid. So like we said, 8-lap heat races, top 4 transfer. The other 5 will go to that last chance qualifier race a little bit later on in the evening. So, of course, be sure to get active in the chat. Like we said, in order to enter for your chance to win tickets, it's !WOO tickets. Just double check to make sure that's working. I can see your entries going into our little bit of software that we're using. Like I said, we will do the drawing for that between the last chance qualifier, the B main, and the feature. With so much excitement and probably a lot of pent-up anxiety for these guys as they get ready to hit the racetrack for the first time in World Championship level competition. We have seen all of these drivers in this first heat race in the past in a variety of RaceSpotTV events, be it private leagues, be it Dirt Night, or be it the World of Outlaw Monday Night broadcast we did last year. All of these drivers are very successful, very talented, and have more than the potential to keep themselves off the wall. Also a very international gathering of drivers tonight. We have mostly drivers from the United States, but there are 2 drivers from Australia, New Zealand that got their way into this. Tim Ryan, the pole sitter, comes from Club Australia tonight, as well as Cam Dance. Also a couple drivers from Canada as well, but the bulk of the field is made up of drivers from North America. They worked their way through that first pace lap here at Eldora, and they will have one more half-mile trip around to get themselves settled, get themselves calm, and we will be seeing them scrap for those top 4 spots here in heat race number 1. Down the back straightaway for the final time, we wait for that iRacing safety truck to get to the safety of pit road, and there'll be the field in command of that number 98 of Tim Ryan, Evolution Racing Team driver. He has the field set, he gets on the throttle, and we are green for heat race number 1 for the World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship. In course toward number 1 and 2, 3 wide for the first time. Tim Ryan, Dylan Selman, they make up the top 2 spots. Robert Kurtsetter, David Heilemann, they're fighting over the bubble spot right now as they come off corner number 4. Kurtsetter on the top, he's going to take that 3rd spot away as Heilemann's going to slip back into 4th. Jesse Dawkins and Justin Thomas, meanwhile, they're scrapping it out for positions behind as Heilemann has continued to fight with Kurtsetter and Dylan Selman as Tim Ryan is stretched away. Fight for that 2nd spot continues to heat up as Kurtsetter is going to go to the top. Heilemann sort of runs the middle here, trying to get a run. They're going to be wheel to wheel for 3rd. Down to the inside goes Heilemann, working lap number 3 of 8. Going to throw a bit of a slider up to the top, and Kurtsetter gets it right back down to the bottom and takes that 3rd spot back. through corners number 1 and 2 right now, working half distance here. Heat race number 1, a little bit of contact for that 3rd and 4th spot. They work themselves up top once again. No one going to the bottom really here all night, as once again it's going to be Heilemann in that number 5 who takes that 3rd spot away. Kurt Setter is going to slide his way down to the bottom, though not quite able to get there. They bash the wall just a little bit, and just checking in behind is that 23 and Justin Thomas. He wants to toss his hat in, and he's going to fight with David Heilemann. A little bit of contact, and the 5 and the 23 are going to get taken out of it. I think that's all on Thomas. A really aggressive move, trying to make a move there, and that's going to end both of their races, as John Batista will now get pushed up into a transfer spot, and he's going to be fighting with Toby DeBell as well as Jesse Dawkins as they fight here for that 4th and final transfer spot with a lap and a half left. And look at this, 3 cars all buried underneath the blanket. You have Jess Dawkins, Chase Cabre, as well as Toby DeBell as they come off corner number 4 for the penultimate time. White flag waves in the air as they work themselves through 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway. 3 wide here in the back of your pack, but it's all going to be Tim Ryan in that number 98 who wins heat race number 1 for the World of Outlaws World Championships. You know there's going to be a lot of bragging rights for him. Dylan Semmelman in 2nd with Robert Kurtsetter in 3rd, followed by Batista, who will be your last qualifier for the feature from this heat race. Then you get Dawkins, Cabre, DeBell, Heilemann, and Thomas, who round out the rest of the field. A couple of big names. They're going to have to do it through the last chance qualifier here tonight. So that's going to set us up now for heat race number 2. Let's go down your starting grid for that. The driver who was on pole up until the last couple of moments, Alex Bergeron, is on the pole for this one with Bradley Cash in 2nd. Dan Smulders and Ryan Pace, they will make up that 2nd row with Philip Diaz and Corey Hines on row number 3. Ryan O'Toole and Anthony LaPresta are on row 4 with Brixton Roxbury rounding out this 9-car field. But the field pulls out onto the racing surface. We get ready for this 2nd heat race. I think the drivers would have just likely seen the really aggressive driving that was just shown there in that heat race. Things get really tight as these guys are going to be fighting over that transfer spot. Expect to see that over the course of this one. Very experienced grid once again. Alex Bergeron, probably overall the best dirt racer on the sim right now. He's really, I think, my pick not only to win tonight, but probably to win this whole championship. He's been on an absolute roll basically since the feature release last year. So they get the 1-to-go signal from the iRacing flag stand as they work their way through corners number 1 and 2. Number 12 car, as we've seen him do so many times, will be leading us away here in heat race number 2. The iRacing safety truck pulls down on towards pit road right now, and the 12 Alex Bergeron in command of the field. He waits a little bit longer than we saw last time. We're green in heat race number 2. Bergeron commands the field immediately up to the top, and they're 3 wide, 3x3 going through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4. The number 9 of Philip Diaz. He's working the top, surrounded by Corey Hines. He's got Ryan Pace a couple of spots out in front of him. A couple of drivers as well. Ryan O'Toole in this mix, deep in the field, trying to get their way forward. One driver goes to the bottom. The old white car is the number 421 of Britton Roxbury, trying to make something happen. Now he's going to move his way up to the top. He's out in front. Bergeron's out to a 0.3 of a second lead as they're side by side for second. Dan Smulders, that's for third. Ryan Pace and Bradley Cash fighting it out here as they try to work their way forward. Very, very tightly contested here at the bubble spot in 4th. 1.1 second lead already for Bergeron. He's wasted no time getting away as we're already midway through heat race number 2. Right now in top 4 transfer spots, Bergeron, Smulders, Pace, and Cash still trying to deal with everybody. That actually swapped the 0-1 of Corey Hines. Went into a transfer spot that last lap, but that number 28 took it. They're nearly 4 wide down the back straightaway here at Eldora. They're nearly doing it again through 3 and 4. You see that number 28 car of Bradley Cash get a big jump there, jumping over one of those rear Nerf bars as they're constantly 3 wide here, fighting over any spot that they can possibly get. No one wants to give up anything. Big contact. Phil Diaz is involved down the back straightaway. Might be damage on that car, but he's still in it. We still have all 9 cars running here with just about 2 laps left to go. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Bergeron is checked out, 2 seconds, and he's going to take the white flag right now in heat race number 2. Corey Hines continues to hold on to that last transfer spot in 4th, and he just has a nice little gap over him. Anthony Lepresto and Ryan O'Toole, they're scrapping out for that 5th spot, and that is important. You want to get yourself a good starting spot for the B main. Tonight, the number 12, Alex Bergeron, is going to come off the corner and win here at Eldora in heat race number 2. Smolders, Pace, and Hines will be your 4 qualifiers from heat race number 2 that go directly into the feature. Very, very tightly contested heat race there. All drivers finishing, all 9 separated by 4.7 seconds here out there on the racetrack. Finishing order: Bergeron, Smolders, Pace, Hines, Lepresto, Cash, O'Toole, Diaz, and Roxbury. Heat race number 3 coming at you right now. You have AJ Neben, who's going to be kicking off the pole spot here on heat race number 3 of 4. Nick Cooper going to be making up the 2nd spot. Cam Dance and Chris Brenner on row number 2, with Howard Weaver and Weston Newell row number 3. Austin Semmelman and Mike Sheridan row 4, with Max Stambaugh making up that 9th spot here. They get ready to pace themselves out onto the racetrack. I believe I see all competitors, and indeed we do, as they go rolling their way back out onto the half-mile racetrack. Heat race number 3 getting ready to take action here. Fantastic racing we've seen thus far tonight here at Eldora. Track proving very racy. A couple different lines we're seeing, mostly up around the top, but some people sort of running that second groove just off the wall as well. You guys in chat, I'm curious here for heat race number 3, who's going to be your pick to win this 3rd heat race? One of the most fun things for me to do any racing event I go to, try to pick the heat race winners. I have to say, I think that number 6, Cameron Dance, might just have something for those guys in front of him, but Brenner and Howard Weaver, also very good drivers in their own right. Of course, there's a reason the likes of Neben and Cooper were able to qualify where they did with the pace that they did. Go down the back straight for the final time before we go racing here in heat race number 3. And AJ Neben will be putting the pedal to the metal here in just a moment. We'll bring out the green flag as that iRacing safety truck comes down to the safety of pit road. Bergeron waited a while. Neben doesn't waste any time as we are green in heat race number 3. 17th away as the fight begins already for 2nd. You see Nick Cooper and Cameron Dance. They're already scrapping for the 2nd spot, 3rd spot as well. These have the 70 up there along the top. That's Chris Brenner trying to hold on to the spot. They're 3 wide for a moment in the back as the 18 of Austin Selman. He's trying to work his way forward here through the field as well. Throwing it up right up against the wall. You know, Austin not going to be very happy with how he qualified, but can he move his way forward here? And these are up right around the top here fighting with Weston Newell here in that 222 car just out in front of him. The fight's still on for 2nd. Nick Cooper and Chris Brenner, they're not giving each other any slack whatsoever, and Neben's not been able to get away as well. Cooper's going to take that 2nd spot. Brenner's going to cycle back to 3rd into the hands of Cameron Dance as well as Howard Weaver. All drivers you see going up to the top side of the racetrack as Brenner's going to try to work the bottom, get another big run here in towards corners number 3 and 4. Now, cross flags here, half distance in heat race number 3 is up around the top goes Chris Brenner, going to slot it right around the 6 of Cam Dance, put himself into the 3rd spot. Howard Weaver, meanwhile behind, dealing with the 222 and the 54 here. Howard's going to get a little bit of a slider thrown on him. He's going to throw it right back here in towards 1 and 2. Can he get to the top and get there? Yes, he can, but the 222 and Newell manages to get it back down to the bottom and gets back underneath them. 2 laps to go. They come off of 4. The 2 laps left here as the field works their way through. AJ Neben has been able to get a little bit clear from Nick Cooper by 0.4 of a second. Chris Brenner has some breathing room as well as they come around to collect the white flag. Cameron Dance, he has a little bit of space, but not much. And Weston Newell is going to be pushing hard, trying to get that last transfer spot. You see the 07 of Howard Weaver. He's going to toss it down to the bottom, go side by side with the 22 and Newell. A little bit of contact, but they come off corner number 4. It's going to be Neben who wins heat race number 3 with Cooper and Brenner side by side at the line, and Cam Dance will hold on to that 4th spot as well. So your top 4 in heat race number 3, AJ Neben, Nick Cooper, Chris Brenner, and Cam Dance. Weston Newell, Howard Weaver, Austin Semmelman, Mike Sheridan, and Max Stambaugh will be the drivers on the outside looking in here after heat race number 3. And if you would have told me that on the very first night of World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship action that Austin Semmelman would not have made the show directly out of the heat race, likely would have laughed at you. It's going to be interesting to see if Austin can make something happen in that last chance qualifier. But now we have one more race to go before we start working here with the feature events. Let's go down your starting grid for heat race number 4. James Edens and Adam Elby will make up row number 1, with Matt McKinney and Rusty Kruger row 2. Rob Kendall and Chase Briscoe on row number 3, with Richard Murtaugh and here. We'll have to wait and see. The field works their way onto the back straightaway here at Eldora. 52 of James Edens gets ready to bring us to green flag racing here. One of a couple all-white cars that we see running in this 4th and final heat race before we get to the last chance qualifier in just a couple of moments. Top 3 in this heat race, all from the same team, interestingly enough. So these guys are going to likely work together here and try to control this heat race. They try to work their way forward. iRacing safety truck is getting ready to peel off on towards pit road for the final time on this heat for the heat races, and then we'll get the last chance qualifiers. To answer your question, yes, this is actually on Dirt Vision as they work their way through corners number 3 and 4, and we are green in heat race number 4. James Edens wastes no time. Adam Elby going to go side by side with his teammate. See the 55 go to the bottom. That's Robert Kendall. He wants to get himself a transfer spot here early. Down now off of corner number 4. You see the 55. Kendall make a little bit of a mistake. He gets shuffled back to 6 as race leader Edens. He's still comfortably out in front with Elby and McKinney closely behind. So the top 3, all teammates, controlled this start beautifully as Rusty Kruger works his way in that 4th spot off of corner number 4, trying to work his way forward. And if anything, just open up a gap over that driver who runs in 5th of Chase Briscoe. That 05 car is doing everything he can to reel in that driver out in front of him. They work their way off of corner number 4 down the front straightaway once again, beginning lap number 4 of 8 already. Chase Briscoe has been doing a good job of reeling in that gap, and he gets a run up top. He'll be able to make something of this on Kruger. Chase is going to go to the middle of the racetrack. We haven't seen the bottom work too much. Can he get the job done? No, Kruger, too much of a run up top. Down the back straightaway, they're going to come. The teammates have continued to run away from the rest of the field. Rusty Kruger is going to go back right up to the top here. There's 3 laps remaining in this heat race. He's still doing a good job just holding on to that 4th spot. But Chase Briscoe is trying to chase down Rusty any way that he can. You also have Kendall checking back into this battle, as well as Ricky Thornton from the 7th spot. Meanwhile, behind Richard Murtaugh Jr., he's lost a lot of time. He just runs there in 8th, about 4 seconds off the rest of the field. Oh, one car in the wall. That's Rusty Kruger. He's going to drop a spot. Chase Briscoe is able to get through, as well as Robert Kendall. So now it's going to be Kendall and Chase fighting. The 55 gets sent around. A little bit of contact from Briscoe as they come to the white flag here for Adam Elby as he works his way down the back straightaway towards 3 and 4. We got a car up in the wall. Rusty Kruger as well as Chase Briscoe. So who's it going to be that transfers? I think it might be Richard, who just may have benefited there right at the last moments. We'll have to wait to get confirmation. No, I take that back. It's Ricky Thornton, but aggressive driving there from Chase Briscoe means that he goes from a transfer spot all the way down to 7th. Sometimes that's all it takes for these guys. Just one little mistake that mixes up something. Well, you suddenly go from being in a fantastic situation, being able to run to the end, being able to get yourself into the feature, and just being completely out of it. That has to be heartbreak. So with that, we have all of our drivers now set on the grid, getting ready for this last chance qualifier. Once again, there are 19 drivers in this B main, and only 4 of them will get their way into the feature. And before we start, once again, opportunity to win yourself a couple of World of Outlaw tickets to any event of your choosing. put into the YouTube chat. Got to go into the YouTube chat and put exclamation point WOO tickets. That is the command to get yourself entered. We will be doing the drawing here after this 15-lap B main that will be deciding the last 4 spots into our feature race. Be sure to get yourself entered. We'll be doing it in 15 laps time. These will be all done under green, so it's not going to be very long if you have not gotten yourself entered yet. The field works themselves out there, and you know this is going to be an aggressive heat race. You know the gloves are going to come off for a lot of these guys. When you're thinking of drivers like Howard Weaver, Rusty Kruger, Austin Selleman, he has to come from 11th up to 4th somehow. People are going to be throwing some silly moves, I suspect, in this last chance qualifier. I would expect nothing less than fireworks. The field rolls off for their final pace lap here. They work themselves down at the back straightaway. Jesse Dawkins has to feel pretty good about his chances here to potentially get his way into the feature. Starting out in front's always nice, better than being in all the pandemonium in back. But we wait now for that iRacing safety truck. Now the field in command of Jesse Dawkins. He wastes no time. Lap 1 of 15 is green for the last chance qualifier. They're already fighting it out. 3 wide for third. They come off corner number 2. You see a big gaggle of cars here in the mid-pack, and there's already a bit of upsets up and down the field. Fireworks, probably some sparks coming off these cars. They're nearly 4 or 5 wide through corners number 3 and 4. They're still wrecking. They've been wrecking basically since that in the back straightaway, and they finally let's go. Saw one car ended up getting around. Jesse Dawkins did lose the race lead to Anthony Lopresto, but he maintained the transfer spot. You see they're side-by-side for second as well. As Murtaugh and Cabre, they're going to be scrapping it out as well. There's 6 or 7 cars all fighting for these top 4 spots. Well, off of corner number 4 they come, begin lap number 4 of 15. Anthony Lopresto continues to lead the way. Richard Murtaugh in second, Jesse Dawkins and Howard Weaver third and fourth. Howard from 7th on the grid already puts himself into the top 4. As he goes side by side, that number 75 car Dawkins. Howard needs to be careful. Side by side is a slow way around here. And there are some aggressive guys behind. They were 3 wide for 5th, and there's already a little bit more contact. The 4th, Chase Cabre involved, as well as Weston Newell. His night's going to be done. He's missing a front wing, and he was on his side. He needs to hope for pandemonium out in front for anything to happen. He tries to get to pit road and is unable to, so he is going to be done in that 222 car. But down the front straightaway, though, once again for Lopresto in the race lead. Jesse Dawkins in second, Howard Weaver in third, and Richard Murtaugh in fourth is where they were at the line. Murtaugh has a little bit of breathing room here over the rest of the field. He should feel happy with that. He's a little bit loose as he comes off corner number 4, and that's going to allow the 4 of Chase Cabre to slide down to the inside and throw the move on Richard Murtaugh. Put that 4 of Cabre into the transfer position. Off corner number 4, once again, lap number 9 of 15, currently being cycled, quickly approaching 5 laps to go. Chase Cabre going to be working on his the number 07 of Howard Weaver out in front of him. Goes to the top side, goes Chase, tries to get a run, maybe a little bit of contact there, in fact, down the front straightaway as Cabre had to get out of it. Howard Weaver, he's found that middle groove to be where he seems most comfortable. Doesn't like running the top. Now he goes to the top here. That 4 has gotten hooked up on the cushion. 5 laps remaining for Anthony Lopresto with a half-second lead over the 75 of Jesse Dawkins. Howard Weaver further 8/10 back in third. Cabre, well, he's just a car length back in fourth with Richard Murtaugh, who's just on the outside looking in, running in that 5th spot. And that number 33 looks quick with 4 laps to go. In towards 3 and 4 once again. 33 trying to hook it up on the top there as Weaver continues to run the middle. That's going to allow Cabre to get a run. He's going to go down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Howard's just going to keep it there in the middle and get the run off the corner. The 4 now, Cabre going to come under attack from Richard Murtaugh, who's going to try to slide it, but no, not going to be close enough. And they're going to have 2 laps left here at the stripe. 2 laps remaining. They were 3 wide for that transfer spot for a moment, but they're going to fan out. The 33 of Murtaugh is maybe a little bit too aggressive here. Howard Weaver is now the bubble boy as they work their way through. Corner number 4, Murtaugh's in the wall. That's going to be the end of his night as Phil Diaz is going to try to get himself into the 5th spot at least. But no, there's going to be a little bit of contact, and that's going to hurt him. The 28 also gets sent around. But Anthony Lepresto is going to fight for Jesse Dawkins for the win here in the last chance qualifier. Lepresto will take it over Jesse Dawkins, Chase Cabre, and Howard Weaver. So those 4 will go to the feature. The rest of your results we'll bring up in just a moment here for your last chance qualifier. Lepresto wins, Jesse Dawkins in 2nd, Chase Cabre and Howard Weaver your top 4. You have Richard Murtaugh, Phil Diaz, Justin Thomas, Rob Kendall, Tony DeBille, Brad Cash, Max Stambaugh, Chase Briscoe, Britton Roxbury, Michael Sheridan, Ryan O'Toole, Weston Newell, Austin Selman, Rusty Kruger, and David Heileman. So some big names do not make the feature tonight. Austin Selman misses out. David Heileman misses out. Chase Briscoe misses out. Max Stambaugh misses out. Justin Thomas misses out. Phil Diaz, and of course the first person to miss the mark, Richard Murtaugh. You have 2 minutes of warm-ups for the feature event. During this short little intermission, we are going to get it done. Giveaway time right here, right now. Exclamation point, WOO tickets to get yourself entered. I will give you 60 seconds to get yourself entered before we do the drawing.
Did you know your DirtVision.com account gives you free access to our on-demand video library? From the DirtVision.com homepage, click on On Demand Video near the top right of the screen. And from there, countless hours of World of Outlaws footage awaits at your fingertips. Watch every lap of the current World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series season.
Sheldon Hodge looking for a run. Dives low into turn 3. Slide job! Sheldon Hodge shield to the cushion. Johnson turns it back underneath him, but Sheldon leads lap 23.
Or dive into some of the historical options with videos in our Classics section.
He has clear visibility, comes off the 4th turn in the clear, and leads lap number 1.
It's all available free and on demand on DirtVision.com.
So, as the drivers get ready to hit the grid, it is time to roll it. The lucky viewer tonight who will be getting 2 tickets to a World of Outlaw event of their choice will be Pyro Illusions. Said subscription status private, but Pyro Illusions, we will be getting in contact with you. You enjoy your pair of tickets to a World of Outlaw event of your choosing. But now, it is time for the feature event. A lot of people have been asking for this for a long time, not only for dirt racing, but for a world championship. And the first feature of the first Dirt World Championship comes at you right now. Tim Ryan on the pole from Club Australia New Zealand, as well as Team ERT with Alex Bergeron representing Canada and VLR on the outside of that front row. AJ Neben and Adam Elby will make up row number 2 with Dylan Selman and Dan Smolders on row 3. Nick Cooper and Matt McKinney going to make up row number 4 with Rob Kersetter and Ryan Pace on row number 5. Chris Brenner and James Edens are on row 6 with John Batista and Corey Hines on row number 7. Cameron Dance and Ricky Thornton are on row number 8 with Anthony Lepresto and Jesse Dawkins on row number 9. And rounding out the tail end of the field, the number 4 of Chase Cabre and the 07 of Howard Weaver. 30 laps to decide the first winner in World of Outlaw World Championship competition. 20 drivers will be duking it out. Expect a very slick racetrack if this race stays green, and expect a very top-oriented racetrack if this race stays green. 1/2 mile of pacing before we let them loose. So down the back straightaway, be some people rooting for Club Canada. Your champion is going to be the 12 of Alex Bergeron. That's who you want to root for. Arguably the best driver in dirt racing here on iRacing. They're going to come off corners number 3 and 4 right now. The field in command of the 98 of Tim Ryan. They work their way through, and we are green for the first feature event in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship Series through corners number 1 and 2 for the first time. Tim Ryan, he's away clear. The 12 of Bergeron smacks the wall a little bit off of corner number 2. He loses a little bit of speed as we already have a yellow here after half a lap. The 70 of Chris Brenner, he's up in the wall. Let's see the drama that brought this one out. Well, just taking a look, it was just close, tight racing in your mid-pack. Just as he come off corner number 4, or excuse me, corner number 2, that 70 of Brenner, I think he pretty much came right up the racetrack, and actually the 44 came down on him as well. There's a couple of cars coming down and sort of meeting at the same point. So an early caution here in the feature. Hopefully this doesn't become the norm here for this first heat race. I really want it to stay green so we get a good night of racing action here. The 70's in the wall early. He's going to be out already, and he will round out the 20th spot in this one. The field paces around once again. Lights are, I believe, are they out already? No, they're not. They're not out just yet on that iRacing safety truck. Unfortunately, caution laps do count in this series. So the field laps do get taken off the board as they run here. It's one of the unfortunate things of the way the cautions happen. Guys get a little bit too over aggressive and we end up losing significant portions of our race. The lights on the iRacing safety truck are now officially out. We'll be going green here, coming to begin lap number 5 of 30. The field works down the back straightaway. No real movers and shakers. A couple people who benefited from the incident. For the most part, everyone is where they were when we initially went to green flag racing. Tim Ryan back in command of the field. Alex Bergeron up on top. Neben, LB, Stelman, your top 5. 98 gets on it. We're back to green flag racing here in the feature, coming to lap 5 of 30. But through corners number 1 and 2, Ryan and Bergeron, they're not going to mess around with each other too much. Fight is on for third, though. That's between Neben and LB. They're going to be 3 wide as well as Dylan Selman goes to the bottom side of the racetrack. Trying to make something happen. They're a little bit close. Maybe a little contact between those two as we get one lap finish under green. As everyone's still slicing and dicing. John Batista is up in the wall in your mid-pack. Field works their way around here. Corners number 3 and 4. Still see drivers fanning out 2 wide, 3 wide, up and down the field. People fighting everywhere. The fight's still close. Out in front, though, a little bit of contact. Amongst your race leaders, Tim Ryan and Alex Bergeron. Alex trying to make something happen. He hit not only the back of Tim Ryan's car, but the wall. And he gets the wall again through 3 and 4. 12 machine of Alex Bergeron is in trouble and falling like a stone in a pond. He is back to 4th and falling as they come off corner number 2 and head down the back straightaway. In towards 3 and 4, Bergeron needs to try to recover. Goes to the top side, fighting now with the 211 of Dan Smolders. Dan's able to slip by here on the inside as that number 12 car continues to go the wrong way. Matt McKinney's checked in as well. Who was that? I think that was John Batista with a bit of a half spin. And one driver is up on the wall on 2 wheels. May have gone around as we're going to go yellow. Who is that? It was the 4 of Chase Cabre. He's done a good job this event working his way through the field up until that point. Made a lot of moves the last couple of laps, and well, really wasn't even his fault. I believe he was just sort of wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah, that's basically the situation. Who was that? That was, I can't actually tell who that was just yet. I believe it was Nick Cooper was fighting with, oh, you know what? Cooper was trying to avoid the spinning John Batista, took avoiding action, and unfortunately he got into the 4 of Cabre. Really nothing either of those drivers could do after Batista had his incident. So unfortunate there for that one as the field works their way through here under yellow. Initial incident, by the way, was, I believe, brought out between Batista and Dylan Selman. Those two just made a little bit of contact, and it was just enough to spin that number 15 car around and bring out that caution. Don't think we lost anyone in that wreck. I believe we have all cars still circulating on the racetrack. So the field works their way down the back straightaway. They're approaching half distance already in this feature event. A couple of quick cautions early in this one. Hopefully we can keep it green here. You see Tim Ryan has gone a country mile back from the iRacing safety truck. It's sort of the Tim Ryan way. He likes to sit a long ways back here. as those lights should be going out this time by, and indeed they do. So 15, lap number 13 is what they're on, coming to lap number 14. So they will have 17 laps remaining in this feature event at Eldora. So down this front back straightaway, the number 98 of Tim Ryan will be in command of the field. LB in second, Neben third, and Bergeron. This is sort of the reset he could potentially get himself. Can he work his way forward? Back up to the point. Number 98 in command of the field. Gets on it. We are back to green flag racing, ready for the second half of this feature. Tim Ryan takes the lead. They're nearly 3 or 4 wide for that fourth spot. The 12 car of Bergeron able to hook up the top and get him his way up into that third spot. Now wants to work the middle on Adam Elby and get his way back up into the second. Nothing doing just yet, though. They're 2 by 2 behind, fighting for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th on the racetrack as well. Most of your drivers going to the top side here. Cushion really hasn't been able to come in too much. There's not been a lot of green flag racing, but it is definitely there. So look for that top side to just get stronger and stronger. Out in front, though, the number 98 of Tim Ryan dominating as he works his way down through corners number 3 and 4. 7/10 of a second lead last time by. Elby trying to rein that gap in. Is he going to be able to this last time through? The gap actually came down a full 10th and a half, so LB doesn't want to let Tim Ryan get away with this one. Bergeron's also in hot pursuit. Top 3 broken away from the rest of the field. Down the front stretch, in towards 1 and 2, they're going to come once again. The gap pretty much stabilized that last time by, so better lap for Ryan or a worse lap from LB, not really sure. At the 12 machine of Bergeron, he's going to work the middle, tries to throw a move on Adam. That's not going to work. Rides the cushion to get a run down the front straight. Through 1 and 2, they come once again. Bergeron trying to get any speed he possibly can to be able to slingshot that 74 of LB, but the 74 is really good right now. He's hooking the cushion up as best as he can. Bergeron can't really do anything with that just yet, as the 98 of Tim Ryan looks absolutely planted on the top. He's seen ERT cars in the past not look that great up along the wall, but Tim Ryan, he looks absolutely comfortable up there right now. They're coming to 10 to go. Off of corner number 2, they're going to come. The 98 of Ryan makes a little mistake, and now Adam Elby is there. Into corners number 3 and 4. 74 is going to try the slider. 98 tries to get it back down to the bottom, but we have a new race leader as yellow is going to fly, and Adam Elby is the race leader here at Eldora. Not sure what brought out the caution. Going to try to find that. I see James Edens with big damage on that white number 52 car, and indeed he was the cause of the yellow. Let's see what happens here as James Edens was fighting with Anthony Lepresto, and there's no other way to really say it. That Lepresto just sort of dumped that other car right there. I don't think there's any in the 52 car up on the top line. He was there. He had every right to be there, and really Lepresto just sort of flat out ran him over. So unfortunately, a little bit of too hard racing. And we go caution once again inside of the final 10 laps of racing. For the number 74 of Adam Elby, what a time to take the race lead. Get yourself out in front of Tim Ryan, and a caution comes out, and that gets some laps off the board. He's going to not have to defend as many laps now, but will he be able to hold on? Because you'll have a charging Alex Bergeron behind him as well. Also at the same time, that top side is where you want to be, so Tim Ryan in that number 98 car might just have the advantage as the field is going to work their way through. Lights are out on the safety truck. We're back to green flag racing this time, coming to 6 laps to go. The field heads towards 3 and 4. And will the 74 of Adam Elby be able to hold on to this? You know Tim Ryan wants to win this race. You know Elby wants to win this race. Remember, there's money on the line tonight as well. $300 to the race winner. $50 left to second. The 74 of Elby gets on it. And look at the gap he has. And look at the 4-way scrap for second. They head through 1 and 2. One car's up in the wall. That's Kursetter. Big bobble in the mid-pack. Tim Ryan's involved. 1 point race leader. He is on his side and upside down. That's going to be at the end of his night. We also have a car flipping in 3 and 4. So another quick caution here at Eldora. So my word, these guys are getting aggressive. Little bit of money is on the line, and these guys are duking it out as if it's $4 million. Who else did we have up there? It's been fantastic racing thus far. believe AJ Neben, no, he just missed out on it. It was the driver up top. And the 98 and the 51 of Matt McKinney, who actually ended up getting into that number 98 car. What exactly happened to Tim? Like, Tim just sort of made a mistake, to be honest. You'd think he didn't quite get the cushion hooked up the way he wanted, and he lost a lot of speed, and because of that, 51 and McKinney really didn't have anywhere to go. And, well, those two made contact, and it basically sent the 98 up into a cluster of cars, and, well, that ended a lot of cars right there. We've lost, I believe, 5 since this race went green. So, big incident there as those guys tried to make that stick. Unfortunately, we're not able to, but lap counter is now coming far down. Bergeron's going to be happy he's been able to get himself back up into the second spot. Neben's up to third. Big mover in the race. That number 15 of John Batista, 13th up to 4th. Anthony Lepresto, he's up 12. 17 to 5th, but he didn't have to wreck a car to get there. Ryan Pace, he's up 4. A couple other drivers who've moved up the field. Jesse Dawkins is up 9, and Howard Weaver, who is more of a late model driver, he'll tell you that himself. He is up 10 from dead last on the field. He runs in the top 10. We're coming back to green flag racing. 2 laps to go. If a caution flies on this first lap, it ends the race. If we go to the white flag lap, it finishes under green. What's going to happen? 74 of Adam Elby in command of the field. He gets on it. 2 laps left as they head in towards 1 and 2. Field fights for position up along the top side of the racetrack. It's where you want to be. Third place and now tightly contested. John Batista goes to the bottom, trying to get around. Anthony Lepresto going to try to slide up. Doesn't quite get there. And he falls back. We got a car on its lid. We made it to the line. We are green. The 74 of Adam Elby works through corners number 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway in towards 3 and 4. The number 74 of Adam Elby just needs to get off the corner, and Adam wins the inaugural World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship race here at Eldora. Alex Bergeron is going to come home in second with AJ Neben in third. Anthony Lepresto and John Batista round out your top 5. What a fantastic run to the finish there. Getting a replay of that pass for your race lead on your screens now. See the fire begin to go off, and the 74 of Adam Elby, say burning them down, but you really don't burn them much on dirt. And that number 74 is spinning them up on the back straightaway, and he's going to get out of the car. You know Adam Elby is going to be very happy with his results tonight. So with that, let's go down your post-race results from the very first feature here in the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars World Championship. Adam Elby takes the race win here in this one with Alex Bergeron in that second spot. AJ Neben in third, Anthony Lepresto fourth, John Batista rounds out your top 5, Ryan Pace in sixth, Robert Kurtsetter seventh, Howard Weaver in eighth, Cam Dance ninth, and Ricky Thornton rounds out your top 10. Dawkins in 11th. He'll be the last runner on the lead lap. Dylan Selman, both the Selman brothers, having a terrible night. One of them doesn't even make the show, and the other one finishes outside of the top 10, 1 lap down. The number 3 car rounds out the 12th spot. Corey Hines in 13th, James Eden 14th, Chase Cabre 15th, Matt McKinney, Tim Ryan, you know he's going to be heartbroken with this one, comes home 17th, 5 laps down, and Dan Smolders, Nick Cooper, and Chris Brenner round out the 20-car feature here tonight. Not go away here on RaceSpotTV. Post-race coverage coming at you in just a couple of moments.
The mile, what part did courage play in this victory?
Like Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Del Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it shot up on the center track.
Tell you what, that was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws' Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with my Outlaw moment.
Welcome back here on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacing Live, and huge shout outs to all of our viewers on all of our various platforms, including Twitch, Facebook, and of course on DirtVision.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the greatest virtual show on dirt. These guys put on a fantastic night of racing, and I think the happiest of them all is going to be that number 74 of Adam LB from Third Base Bar and Grill. Adam, you are $300 richer after the win tonight. Hope the sponsor doesn't take too much of that.
Yeah, no, it took me a few minutes there to realize that I just won $300. I was more pumped about winning the race than any money, but that was fun.
I mean, it's a pretty tightly contested race, and let's talk about this series first thing foremost. The fact that you have 35 drivers. To me, the most stressful part of this race wouldn't be the feature, wouldn't even necessarily be qualifying. It'd be getting through those heat races and potentially that last chance qualifier that you have deeper in the night, because you're talking about half of the field pretty much not getting their way even into the feature. How stressful is it trying to maintain and get into a fourth place running spot through your heat races?
So for me, my biggest problem is qualifying. I can't really lay down a lap, but once other cars are around me, for some reason, I just kind of feed off of it, and I race the car in front of me, race the track, and it just ends up working out. And I know you got to finish top 4, and I started front row outside next to my teammate James Edens, and he was on the bottom, and I just wanted to run the top because I know it's always quick here, but it's very dangerous. And I showed up my front end, and he didn't move up, so I just stayed there and got a good starting spot for the main event.
Now, talking about that feature race, it was pretty much all in the hands of the 98 of Tim Ryan for the majority of it, but he made a little mistake and you pounced. But before that ended up happening, you had a very aggressive Alex Bergeron who made an early mistake and was finding a little bit of speed in that second groove. Were you confident up along the top, or how difficult is it here running the cushion at Eldora when you have someone like Berger really right up against you, really pressuring you through all 4 corners here?
Yeah, well, I know the top is scary to run here, but it's also where it's where you need to go if you want to win. So I wasn't being in a top 5 situation, started 4th, and was able to drive around the guy in 3rd place on the start. So I just know that if I was able to keep her on the top nice and smooth, and I'd get a decent finish. I was kind of looking for more of wasn't really looking to pass Bergeron or anything. He was a little car lengths ahead of me, and Tim was pretty checked out, and Bergeron made a mistake, and I was able to just barely squeeze by. And once I got some clean air, I felt like I was kind of running down Tim. I noticed in 1 and 2, he kept making the same mistake where he'd enter on it and get really loose off the exit, and I kind of had some really good drive up there. And Justin Thomas and James Edens get these cars really dialed in for us and make it easy to drive.
Well, congratulations, Adam, on what a fantastic win for that number 74 car. Before we let you go, sponsor plugs. Who do you have to thank? Who's on the car for that third base bar and grill machine?
Third base bar and grill is just a bunch of us buddies, and we just come on here, race, have fun. We kind of joke that it's not really a team; it's more of just a bunch of guys that hang out. But I can't thank all those guys in there enough. We put a lot of time into these races and the setups, and just get on here and have fun. And can't thank Chase Rodman, Rusty Kruger, Ross Weiss, Dustin Thomas, Tyler Silva, James Edens, all those guys. We just get in here, run laps, and we all try and beat each other. And I think that's the biggest thing there, is that we really thrive off of each other and just keep finding speed, and we share it with each other, and it just makes us quick when other guys come around.
Well, Adam, thanks again for joining us, and congratulations on the race win. It's always a good way to get things started. Are you going to be joining us for the late models next week, or are you sprint car only?
I will. I actually ran 5th in late model points for the qualifier. It was kind of a shocker, as I run more of the sprint cars, but I was able to I race the late models every once in a while, and I have a good feel for them. And James Edens and Justin Thomas, those guys get us good setups too, and for those, and they're just, those things are a blast also. I have just as much fun in those, and I can't wait.
Adam Elby going to be looking to carry this momentum into Volusia next week for the World of Outlaw Craftsman Late Model World Championship. Be sure to check that out. But Adam, we will be seeing you later. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the broadcast.
You're more than welcome, Adam. But one driver who is the lone and sole VLR machine in the top 10, you know what? He's pretty much the only VLR machine in the top 20, I think, outside of, well, actually, no, I take that back, because Dylan and Howard both had good runs as well. But Alex, you guys, VLR, you really struggled tonight. Austin missed the show. Heileman missed the show. VLR not really clicking tonight here at Eldora. What's wrong?
There's nothing wrong. I just I could have passed him there, but
no, not you, not with you. I'm just saying you were phenomenally quick.
Well, I don't know. Seriously, don't know. But we had a fast car tonight. It's the track. The track is different than usual, and it's tough out there.
Now, talking about go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, talking about that, I know that one of the big things drivers always look for is that cushion coming in at some of the variety of racetracks we have on the service. The cushion really is the quickest way around at pretty much all the tracks we have. How bad was the cushion out there tonight? It seemed like it was a very top-oriented racetrack all night, but it really came in deep into that feature. I know there were a couple laps where you were kind of harassing that inside that left tire of Adam Elby, sort of running about a groove off that upper line, if that makes sense. Were you able to make moves on that second line? Was it just that Adam was that quick, or was it just a situation where if you weren't on the cushion, you just couldn't make moves really?
For me, it was very tough to enter the cushion at the entry of the corners, and I tried to do like a slide job line and get the middle on the cushion, but not an entry. I was not able to. So I was able to make moves. I just I was waiting. I was being patient, and we kind of touched together, me and Tim, and I was second from there, and tried to pass Adam there at the end, but we kind of touched, and he kind of got loose there, and I was trying to be patient, and finish second is always better than finishing dead last. So I'm happy with that.
Of course, that little mistake you made, how stressed were you? Because it was pretty cutthroat out there tonight with the racing we saw. Did you think you were going to be able to get your way back up to second, or with that little hiccup, did you think that you're pretty much going to be stuck running fourth, fifth if the likes of the drivers in front of you ended up making mistakes, which fortunately for you ended up happening?
Well, I was confident I was going to make it up there again, but I thought I had damage on my car. I touched the bumper of Tim there on the exit of 2, and I kind of get it back up and trying to send it more in turn 3 and 4, and just clip the cushion too much, and my front end just went in the wall. So I tried to slow down as much as I can and get back on track. But yeah, I was confident to get back up there, which we did, and I just we were a short away to get a win tonight. So I'm pretty stoked with second, though. It's just always good for us.
Well, Alex, congratulations on the good night. Who gets it done for you guys over there at Victory Lane Racing?
All the guys for the good setup. Austin there too, and all the guys tonight did an awesome job. The car, and all my sponsors, Dirt Collective, RacingDude.com, Dirt Car Racing, Ultimate Dirt TV, Mario Inc., and Bob King for the design, and you guys for broadcasting and iRacing to put this up. It's awesome.
Thanks to you for joining us, Alex, and congratulations once again out here on the World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship. One little correction, however, 2 VLR cars ended up in the top 10. Howard Weaver, late model extraordinaire, ended up in the top 10. Outrun the Selman boys, and he even races with Amir, so Howard ends up in the top 10 as well. But that is going to do it for us here on RaceSpotTV for the very first race of the World of Outlaws Sprint Car World Championship Series here on iRacing. Huge shout outs to all of our partners, those at Craftsman, as well as those at Dirt Vision, for all your support with this series. In exactly 7 days' time, the late models will be taking to Florida as they take on the treacherous Volusia Speedway Park here on the iRacing service. The late models really do put on a fantastic bit of racing. Be sure to tune in for that. And the week after, on May the 22nd, the Sprint Car Series returns as they take on the dirt track at Charlotte. But until then, from everyone here on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live, thank you for joining us. We have a very busy week this week. The NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series comes at you tomorrow from Kansas, I believe, and then later on down the week, the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series returns as well. A very busy week on RaceSpotTV, streaming live on iRacing Live, but it's all to your benefit as we put on the best shows we can. But until then, we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.